Okay, now we're going to take those shapes that we've just gone over and we're going to combine them together to make a far more complicated object. In this case, what I'm going to do is just start with some of our basic shapes and then build it up. So, in this case, I'm going to do a square, and then on that square, I'm going to do a triangle. And you may well have done this in the past where we're doing a simple 2D view of a house in this case. So we've used our triangles, we've used a square, we're going to use a rectangle for a door. Got our circle in there, got lots of squares and rectangles that we can use to depict elements to give, it's all an illusion that we're choosing lines and shapes to represent well-known things. And hopefully our observation skills is that we look at these shapes to help break things down to be able to replicate them in our drawings. Let me see, I'm going to put a little window up here. I'm going to indicate some lines that there's some siding up here. Yeah, so let me see, I'm going to do a picket fence. So I'm going to use rectangles and then triangles. Rectangles and triangles, and repeat these across to create a picket fence. There we go, it's a little clearer. And then kind of put the boards across here. So again, we're using blue to build up things, and then we'll go over in pencil to clarify them. So here, actually, I'm going to, on this side, I'm going to put a chimney. So we talked about textures in the elements of design. We can use textures here. So I can put some lines and indicate that the house is made of bricks. And I don't have to detail the whole surface. You can see just adding some of the texture of a brick siding helps define what it is. And even with our chimney here, I can add some texture here to give the illusion of a brick construction. Up here I could, this is wood siding, I could have a bit of wood grain up here if that's what I want. Depending on the style, age, look of the home or whatever, so you can depict whatever you like. And now it's going over all this and creating what you're going to see. So I'm doing this with a building, and you can break down this shape in just about anything you're going to draw. So I'm be drawing along here. Always encourage doing extra drawing, so you're improving your skills. So you can attempt a building using different shapes and a different type of building. I just use a very typical dwelling that we're all kind of familiar with, and I wanted something simple for this demo so it wouldn't take too long, and just come up with the idea that, again, we're going to be working with 2 dimensions, just those 2-dimensional shapes. We want to avoid depth 3 dimensions. We want to keep it simple and then build up on our skills and then get into 3-dimension and perspective and structure and all that. But I think before we get there, we really want to master simplicity and trying to communicate our ideas as simply as possible. And doing that, using shapes to represent things, will allow you to get your ideas across very quickly, but make it so that it's recognizable. People will get what it is that you're trying to get across. So here we go. So just going through it. Again, you can take far more care than I am. I'm trying to work under a time limit so I don't give you a long, boring tutorial here, but I want to get you the idea and the approach so you can do this and get it worked out. So in the end, I want you to show me that you watched the video and you now get why we're doing shapes and putting a more complex object together. So I do want you to take up the challenge. Either do a follow along and hand in this house, or if you're more ambitious, create your own different type of house and submit that in so I can see that you're getting the concept and doing the work and watching what we're doing, and you're getting this foundational information, which is really going to help us both in storyboarding and design all the way through the program, and everything we want to visualize and get together. So again, very, very simple. Yeah, I did one earlier, attached little garage and what have you. So that's this one. Your other option is to come up with your own dwelling. So I did this one earlier. Thought I would find a more fun sort of subject matter and made it more cartoony. So I distorted those shapes. Even though it's rectangles, I made it bigger at the top and then smaller at the bottom. So that's kind of like some of the shapes we're looking at. Can't remember the name of it. I'd have to look back up and see what it is, but you'll be able to identify and understand. Even our triangles, I gave it some curvature and gave it more of a caricatured cartoon look. So you're open to do that as well. So do this up. I got one more tutorial. Well, probably two more. I'm going to do the same thing and do a character using very simple shapes and 2D that I want you to try and work on that and submit. And then we'll give you your last big assignment, 2D drawing assignment that will be due and digitally submitted.